99.5 FM WBAI in the NY. Ladies, gentlemen, non-binaries, gender neutrals, welcome back to another episode of Black Seinfeld, the show about nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
It's me, Giovanni Anglin, Trinidadi, Panamanian, Poppy, Rude Boy, Top Gunner, Sakpanyamada, Giovanni. Hi, everyone. I'm back with another episode with my friend, my good friend, one of my best friends. I'm going to do the introduction for him because we're celebrating this man today, okay? Because this past Tuesday, he's now another year older. He's now 28 years old, okay?
Yes, sir.
That is my guy, Bashtinista. Straight all the way from Queens. He's still in New York, people. The best city ever. How's it going, man? How you doing?
Not bad. Recording live from Queens, U.S. in Brooklyn. Glad to be here. Another beautiful episode of Black Seinfeld, where we hit you with, whatever we feel like giving the folks, especially late at night at 12 a.m. But shout out to you if you're listening through the podcast. If you're listening through Apple, Spotify, anywhere in the world. We're giving a nice shout out to you guys as well.
That's right. And everyone, I want everyone to go to blackseinfeldny@gmail.com and write all the love to Bashtin. Wish him a happy birthday. Okay, he doesn't even like this, but I want people to call in to the show.
Absolutely not. I'm not going to answer any phone calls.
212-209-2877. Give Bashtin some birthday love, all right? You only turned 28 once, all right? 212-209-2877. If you're listening to this on the podcast, don't call. But this is for Bashtin. Send him love, all right?
Disrespectful.
Just respectfully. Give him some love.
No, you're disrespectful. That's all I'm saying.
I'm disrespectful?
Yeah,
Why?
I have a policy not to answer any phone calls, even in the real world, because you just never know what scammer from Florida, New Jersey, or even China is calling you, and that's that's just the life we're living in right now. So if I don't know who you are, or your caller ID doesn't have a tag, I do not answer.
Hey, you remember last time when we did like a phone call? It was because I had a thing that Off the Wall was a better album than Thriller. That went well.
Oh, that was very fun, but it gave that classic argument. That argument that doesn't come up as often as before. Nowadays, we get the same old boring arguments like which Kanye West better's album's number one. Say, all right, that's for the new school, but the old school, that Michael Jackson conversation, which is rarely happens on the radio because those same producers or radio personalities no longer have their shows anymore like that. We just brought it up for a second, so I think that's why we got a couple people that called last time. We brought old radio back for like 15 minutes. Probably
it was something that people can relate to, but that's all, Bashtin. I'm just trying to show you some love, man. I'm spreading love to you.
Thank you. Right? I appreciate it.
No, that's the problem with the black community. Okay, we don't show black men love. All right, and that's why black boys grow up and shooting people and all that stuff, because they don't get love when they're younger. I sound like Al Sharpton.
Sound like you just focus on like a small percentage, but I feel you. I definitely understand.
That's all I wanted, man. This isn't about me today. This is about you. This is Bashtin Appreciation episode. This is all about Bashtin today. That has nothing to do with me. I'm taking the back seat today. I'm talking about whatever you want to talk about, whatever you want to do. I'm with it.
Yeah, so I think last week I discussed the reason I was back in New York was, one, for my birthday, and two, for a friend's bachelor party. And we end up going to Redfield, New York, upstate, for his little bachelor cabin, like get together. A bunch of him and his friends, and me included. We were hanging out, did fishing, which was very interesting and fun. The problem was there was no fishes, so it was just pretty much swinging a nice wire into the little river ravine, hoping that we don't lose the bait or pick up sticks.
Oh, that's not fun at all. So wait, what was the bait that you used? Did you use worms, shrimps?
Worms, easy to find. Dig them up.
No one caught anything?
No, just like nothing to catch. What my hypothesis was it maybe wasn't the right season for it, or maybe we were in the wrong location.
Mm.
So because it was a lot sunnier and it did rain the day before, so that's multiple factors right there. It's either you fish while it's raining,
Mm.
or you try to go a little bit earlier before the sun gives you that nice like heat. Hence, the fish don't like to be in front of that sunlight. Hence, they want to be in the shade. So a
Mm.
lot of different factors that we probably didn't think through all the way. But other than that, it was fun. I don't fish, so even me not catching a fish, me being in the water, it's really fun.
What's your favorite kind of fish you like to eat, Bastion? Are you a red snapper kind of guy? Is
Codfish,
oh, okay.
salmon. I don't care for fish. I think we had this conversation before in terms of like, as you get older, you will be one of those fish sandwich people. I know there's a lot of fish sandwich
Yeah.
spots in Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
We're not there yet. I think we like fish and sticks. Throw some tartar sauce on it,
You
on
mean
some
fish and
fried
chips?
fish and stick. Yeah, chips. I meant.
Mm.
Yeah, like fish sticks, for example.
Yeah.
But yeah, fish and chips. Throw some tartar sauce on that, and you have yourself a beautiful meal. But if you give me a grilled whole fish, I'm probably just going to eat the tail and just chill.
Mm.
So yeah.
Okay. Well, to me, I feel like I thought maybe it was kind of racist asking a Caribbean man if he likes red snapper as his favorite fish. Because I don't know what's up with Caribbean cuisine. Is like you can go to a Caribbean restaurant and you can definitely find a whole red snapper fish on the menu. Why is that?
It could be maybe something that's easier to cook. I do think not every fish is created equally, and it's the
That's
less
fair.
complaint. I could only imagine if you're a Caribbean man walking to a restaurant, you're gonna ask for like one or two type of fish, like salmon or red snapper. I think that's what I think.
Mm.
But it's rare that you're gonna just order cod. It's like I think fried cod is probably the go-to nowadays. But yeah, so that's what we did. We went fishing, found no fish, and the next day we went paintball.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
yeah, paintball is very interesting. I'm ready. I got a couple bruises.
There you go. Oh, damn, you got rocked hard.
Yeah, so I'm showing Gio through the webcam how I got like a nice bruise on my arm,
That looks
but it
close
was
range.
fun. It is kind of interesting. Someone's told us that paintball is a little bit different, especially if you're using the rented equipment. It's more or less like a shotgun. You could try to aim as much as you want, but it doesn't really help unless you get the modded stuff, and that's when it's shooting a little bit much faster. That's when like this bruise might be even a little darker.
Mm.
So that's something I never did any sorts of like air gun or paintball shooting before, but it was pretty fun. It does take a lot of energy from you. It feels like you're doing like a cross country type run, especially when the drilling's hitting you.
That's right.
So I was definitely exhausted. I could only imagine if you do this on a week to week basis, this is your weekly workout. Like it does take a lot of energy from you. It's like playing basketball. So shout out to you if you're doing this on a weekly basis.
Yeah, I remember going paintballing 10 years ago for my high school senior trip, and we were upstate. I think we were at like the Pines Groves. I forgot. Oh, the Pines Grove Dude Ranch. That's what it was called. And one of the days we got to do paintballing, and it was in some neck of the woods. And I remember the two guys really well. They were all about safety first, about like putting on like the headgear because you don't want to get shot in the eye because you could go blind. And to me, it felt like Halo a little bit because of the gear that I had on and the helmets. It felt like a Master Chief helmet. And I remember everyone tried to do their best Call of Duty Halo impressions, and I remember getting shot like real close range on my neck, and it got bruised, not really bad, but it was noticeable. So I remember going to school when we came back from the trip, and I just told people that I got a hickey because it sort of looked like a hickey. Yeah, I was that guy.
Yeah, it does show the black on blue, especially on our brown skin, which I was kind of surprised.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this showed off maybe like 24 hours. It wasn't instant, but like within the next 24 hours, it showed up.
Yeah, it hurt.
But paintball is definitely fun. Paintball made me think about like, shooting a weapon. Like, go and imagine this is a game, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're in war and practice, you're not practicing, you didn't go to any type of like recruitment, no one trained you for anything. It's really reckless to try to fight like that. So that's the first thing I thought about, but it was fun. Adrenaline really, really motivates you to doing stuff you wouldn't do, especially if you try to train yourself tactically if you had a plan. But yeah,
What sort of games did you play? Did you play like capture the flag and?
we did capture flag once, but it was it was okay. Those games aren't as fun if you're not used to it. I feel like it's equivalent to if you're playing Call of Duty. If you're only putting 10 hours a week compared to the people that's putting like 120 hours a week. Those guys that are playing 120, it's fun. Compared to 10 hours, it's just complicated. It's like, this is a mess. I'd rather just do free for all.
Let me guess. It was. Let me guess. Capture the flag was at a standstill because everyone was afraid to actually go for the flag.
No, everybody went for the flag.
Okay.
It was just quick. Like, it's new. If you didn't have more than like 3 people on your team, then it'll be very difficult. So yeah, and I could just say from that experience, I would like to do it again. I would love to do paintball again, but this time have more tactical gear, something to kind of protect my arms, legs, and neck. Other than that, you get shot in the chest, you'd be good.
Yeah, did they just give you like a camo jumpsuit?
Camo jumpsuit, yeah, $10.
Same. Oh, you had to pay for that.
$10, yep.
Oh, that's weak.
It's called overlay. Well, I could only assume it's due to the pandemic, where maybe it was just a throwaway and it's cheap gear compared to now. It's like, all right, we need the cash. Any type of dollar that we could get, we'll take it. So,
okay. What else did you guys do for the bachelor party?
No, that's pretty much it. We hung out, chill, watched the games, and we're in an open lawn, so
No
sit next to
strippers?
the fire. It wouldn't be good for radio, but no, there's none of that. It was a good get together. That's the best way I'll explain it. I do think certain bachelors parties like that, it's more of a 50-50. It's like that it's really happening that way or it's not happening that way.
I guess the movies lied to me.
No, it could happen if it's your lifestyle already. It has to be your lifestyle already. Like, those guys that do have strippers at their bachelor club, they go to strip club every couple of months. So it's nothing that they gotta hide from. It's like this is who they are. But yeah, it was just a nice chill get together.
What would you want your bachelor party to be? Would you even have a bachelor party?
It would just have to be something like in one day. This was like a 3D event,
Right.
3-day event. It will have to be one day. It could be from like morning to night, and that's it. Everybody will be home by like 2 a.m. or something. I don't really, me personally, the way I live my life is like you'll still be able to see me, right? Like I haven't changed since I was in a relationship. Like you're still able to contact me. I'm still gonna hit you up. So there are people that change drastically once they have a girlfriend, right?
That is
So
true.
those type of people you need to do like a real bachelor party for, because you're never going to see them. So I do think it has to do with the personality and the person you're celebrating with. But if they've been the same since their relationship, then you don't really have to do much. Just spending good time with them, and that's pretty much it. Because you're going to spend time with them again. You're not losing. It's not one man down or anything. And that's kind of when you bring it up to the TV shows and stuff, because that's how it feels every time. It's like, but realistically, if you're going to do things like now we have technology, we could reach out to each other, Zoom calls, like, iPhone chats and whatever. So it's a better era and a better age to keep connecting with people.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
They don't.
I didn't think about it. This is off the dome from this like conversation we're having.
Oh, yeah.
But
that's fine.
yeah.
No, I didn't expect you to premeditate what you were gonna say. Nah, it was just curiosity.
Yeah. That's just my thought. Like nothing that we're spending a lot of money on, because everything else in life is expensive.
Yeah. Well, what? That's not true. If 2022 taught us anything, things are getting way more expensive. Inflation.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
crazy.
Like everything in life is, yeah. Even gas is going up to $8 in California. So it's going to be very interesting to see America have the same gas costs as like a South American country and how we're going to deal with it. So it's been low for a very long time compared to the rest of the world, and now it's going to be a little bit equal.
When did you get back from the trip?
Monday evening around 5.
Oh, Memorial Day.
Yeah, we came back on Memorial Day. You know how it is in the traffic coming from upstate New York. It took like 5 hours to get here.
Yikes.
But it wasn't that bad. And I took my day off, which was my birthday, which was yesterday, May 31st.
Hey.
Shout out to all the celebrities that also have it that day. I think Azealia Banks and Nate Robinson are my go-to.
That's a sick list.
It's a nasty list. I know.
That is a disgusting list. First off, you got Nate Robinson, the man who got knocked out by Jake Paul.
I know.
And then Azealia Banks. That's all I have to say. She eats cats, people.
So yeah, that was my high school experience during those days, because they were huge, you know, especially Azealia Banks in 2012.
Yes.
2-1-2. Can never forget that record. But and then Nate Robinson, of course, Crypto Nate from the Knicks, slam dunk contest back to back. But sharing birthdays with them was like real cool. But now it's like, damn, it's like, you know, it's a Gemini lifestyle, right? You crazy.
I mean, hey, it makes sense that Azealia Banks is a Gemini, but you know, it's a lot of Geminis this season, and two of them are my favorite rappers. Got, of course, Tupac, Kanye, Kendrick, Andre 3000, and the commonality is between you and all of them, Bashtin, is they're all crazy.
Yeah, too bad I'm not crazy.
Yeah, that's fair. You're very mellow. You're very laid back and chill.
Yeah, well, I need to be.
Oh, see, that means he is crazy.
Anyways, how you been, Gio? What you been up to these past couple of days?
Well, similar to you, Bashtin, I had a nice extensive weekend due to Memorial Day, but also I was off Tuesday because I just wanted the Tuesday off. And my Memorial Day weekend was great, man. Started off with Friday. I hung out with a nice friend who, similar to you, Bashtin, is a Queens degenerate. So funny enough, this person works for the Nets organization. So they commute to Brooklyn all the time, but they just never had any chance to actually explore Brooklyn. So that's where I came in, and I showed them a good time. I spread love, which is the Brooklyn way, Bashtin, and they loved it. First, I showed them the roof upstairs, and then after the roof, took them to one of my favorite bars, and then I hung out with some of my friends, and I introduced them to you remember Zav and Ola 1020. I introduced them to 1020, and there was like this big gathering that were happening, so it was a lot of music and comedy. And
I think it's funny how your experience of Brooklyn is just one block.
Oh no, I went to Bushwick.
With the Bushwick too.
Yeah,
okay. I'm about to say.
Yeah, no, I took them to Bushwick.
Okay.
Yeah, so we were all hanging out in Bushwick, and yeah, there was just all that stuff happening, and then we got really, really drunk, and then they started talking about basketball playoffs and the fact that the friend that I was with is a huge Celtics fan, and everyone else were rooting for the Heat, and we all got drunk and crap faced, and then we went across the street to Artichoke Pizza. And that was the first time I actually had artichoke pizza. Artichoke pizza is fire. Like, it is good.
Hey, I have a comment. Didn't you feel, and this is how I feel about artichoke pizza real quick, didn't you feel like it goes well with some nice rice?
No, I did not think about... See, excuse Bashtin. Bashtin is Haitian, okay? Haitians love rice. Okay, that is their thing. But no, Bashtin, I did not think, the artichoke slice would go really good with some rice. I mean, I understand why you say that, because the artichoke pizza, it's like an Alfredo almost. It's creamy, it's heavy cream, heavy cheese. So I get that, but no, this is what we did. It's
almost like a savory pie.
Yes, this is what we did. We got one artichoke pizza, one margarita pizza, and then like 2 garlic bread. So what we did was we take like the garlic bread and we dip it in the artichoke pizza toppings that like slid off the pizza. That's what we did. It was fire. It was damn near delectable.
Interesting. Everything tastes better when you're drunk.
Oh,
Try
and hot.
try that again at 2 p.m. I was like, oh, this is heavy. I don't want all this.
Yeah, see, we were there at 2 a.m. eating that,
Exactly.
like, bruh. And
Only time I ever had artichoke pizza is like late night. I've never had it in the morning
See?
or an afternoon. Never.
And then, it's Bushwick or East Williamsburg, so it has changed a bit. So imagine rolling up there 12 people deep that look like us, but a little bit more rowdy, a little bit more. There's a lot more ruckus because everyone is drinking and smoked. So yeah, there was a bit of uncomfortability there, but hey, we had fun.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah, and we tipped well too. We thanked them for putting up with our ish. So yeah, that was Friday. Then Saturday I came to work. I worked here at BAI and I had dinner with a couple of OGs. Shout out to Felipe Luciano of Latin Roots and Felipe Luciano Jr. of Latin Roots. And we were just shooting the ish, talking, having a good time. I'm learning from the OGs. Felipe is like 74 years old. Then Junior's like 49. Yeah, he's like 49. So, just soaking up all the game. Because like Felipe, like he started, he founded like the Young Lords and all that stuff, which is like the Puerto Rican answer to the Black Panthers and all that. So, he was telling me like about those times and all that stuff, and how like the FBI would like come in and like sort of spy on them and all that stuff. It was wild. Like that stuff was wild. And so he was talking to me about the play that he was writing and like the book that he was making. So that was fun. Sunday I went out again. I saw some wrestling with the homies. We went to a bar, and again it was AEW pay-per-view, Bashtin. So CM Punk, he's the new heavyweight champion of the world. And shoot, it was a long show, man. I mean, it started at 8 o'clock and it ended at around 1 in the morning. Yeah.
I thought these shows aren't live.
Oh no, this was a live show. So this is a pay-per-view, which is like a super show. It's a very super important show because a lot of the titles are on the line, and this is like the culmination to all the storylines that happened in the past 3-4 months, and like the big culmination was this big pay-per-view. This was basically the climax to everything. And so that led with CM Punk becoming the new heavyweight champion. I think that was the only real title change that happened in that pay-per-view, amongst other things. But we enjoyed our time there. I almost knocked out because it was just super late, 8 o'clock and to 1 in the morning. And of course I'm at a bar, so like I'm drinking.
Yeah, the energy only keeps you up for maybe 3 hours, and that's why sports is all about. Most games are 3 hours long, and then you're good to go.
Yeah,
once it hits, that's why it's only weird if it's in the regular season game and it goes to overtime. You're like, all right, gotta wrap this up. Compared to his playoff, it's like let's go, but
right,
so different.
Oh man, game 1 of the first rounds in the NHL playoffs, it was the Rangers versus the Penguins, game 1, right? And normally in hockey games, right, there's only 3 periods, 20-minute intervals. And this game, there was a triple overtime. So basically, people sat there and basically watched a whole separate hockey game too. And that was sick. That was wild because the game starts at like 7:30, and the people didn't leave until like 12:30, 1 o'clock. Like that's how nuts it was.
Yeah, basketball and NHL have the same time, so like 7:30, and they should be done by 10 o'clock,
right?
Or at least 9:30 if the game's gone quick, not a lot of penalties or calls, or stoppage time with timeouts. But wow, yeah, I would have been tight if this is a 5-hour game because the plus side of being from New York, especially New York City, is our stadium is actually in the city.
Yes.
Then once we get out, we could pretty much go home in any direction.
Right, but I don't know if you're like me now. There's a certain cutoff where I don't take the subway anymore past a certain time. One, because it's just getting wild here in the subway, but also Two, I'm not waiting 20 minutes for the damn train anymore. I'm just not doing it. I just want to get home. So the cutoff is like anywhere from like anything past 11. I'm not doing it anymore. Like, no, I'll eat the $50 and I'll gladly take a Uber or a Lyft home. I don't care. I'll get home faster.
Yeah, and this is kind of the conversation of society in terms of the Uber price always raises around the time people tend to drink and go home. So if only it's a little bit more balanced, people won't be so forced. Like, okay, maybe I should drink a little and then drive home. But that's a different conversation for another time.
Because here's the thing with Uber and Lyft, the prices, they definitely rise, but definitely during the weekend. So like a Saturday at 1, 2 in the morning when people are actually taking them, the prices are gonna hike up. But like tonight, after I leave here at like past 2, it's gonna be super low. And even that Sunday, it was super low compared to what it would be like if it was midnight. But
it's a rare thing. Interesting.
Yeah, but that was my Sunday. But hold on, I just want to say one more thing. Monday was chill. I didn't do anything. But Tuesday, since it was like 90 something degrees, man, I was outside. I had my little Kim shirt on. I had my little, yes, Bashtin, don't judge me, but I got hoochie daddy pants. That's right. The one that's revealing the thigh piece.
The 5-inch seam.
That's right. That's revealing the thigh piece. And I went to go see Top Gun, the new Top Gun.
How was it?
Fire ass movie, bro. I
never saw the first one.
Honestly, you do not need to see the first one, but it helps if you see the first one, but you do not need to see the first one in order to understand everything.
Cultural events, like, I think Top Gun's probably embedded in my mind, but I never seen it.
It's okay, because like,
hey, if you said Top Gun is fire, they've been marketing that movie like crazy.
Yeah, because it was supposed to come out 2020. I remember when they aired the first trailer back when I saw Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker.
It's been a while.
Yeah, and it was supposed to come out summertime 2020, but we all know what happened. So it finally came out this year, and listen, I didn't expect to love this movie that much, but no, it really like exceeded expectation. It was a freaking damn good movie, and I was like, damn, Tom Cruise done did it again, man. This I don't know, that's the power of Scientology or something, because this movie's fucking amazing. Like, it's really good, shot well, stunts were crazy, acted beautifully. It was awesome. Like, it's up there.
My list.
It is up there with Batman. I'm not lying. It's that good. It's that fucking good.
You heard it here, folks.
I was shocked at how good it was. Okay, that's it. I'm done.
Gotcha. So this is the month of June. That means we're halfway through the year. And it's also Pride Month as well. So, it's Pride Month. We give love to the LGBTQ and T community. Plus, of course, and one thing is, it's always interesting, and we see it year after year, is how the corporations tend to just put the rainbow on their logo and give a thumbs up, and that's pretty much what they feel is the most they could do. But for the rest of the year, they're just sitting on quiet. And just recently, I don't know if you noticed this, Gio, but last year we discussed how Juneteenth became a major holiday in the United States, and now this year, many of these companies are now using that holiday in order to sell products. So it's just interesting to see how corporations are using holidays, especially when they a lot of meaning to it, in order to try to have some sort of profit margin during those days. So yeah, it's capitalism, but it's kind of weird to see. Especially for Juneteenth. Like, I think for Pride Month, it's been like that for the past 10 years, especially if you're living in New York City. Oh, especially in New York City. You know how many rainbow shakes you can get at different spots? I'm sure Shake Shack, they got a rainbow shake. I'm sure if you go to Starbucks, they got some, like, I'm sorry to say this, fruit. Dang, I can't say fruity drink. That's messed up. But it is, though. Yeah, it's probably designed specifically for that month only, and they won't bring it back ever. Of course, all you gonna see is rainbow logos. Go right now on all your Twitters,
check the NFL. I bet you.
Well, I always recommend going on LinkedIn, and you see it.
Yeah, you see all the logos as a rainbow. NBA,
the more professional Facebook, yeah.
NFL, NHL, they got the Pride logo up. All of them, they got the Pride logo up. So my thing is, what are they gonna do for Juneteenth? We gonna get black, green, and red logos, huh? Is that what we gonna get? Are we gonna get "We Shall Overcome" T-shirts or something? Like, what's up, B? Is chicken gonna be half off? Like, I need to know.
Central Park 5 T-shirt.
Central Park 5 T-shirts made from Gucci, huh? Huh? What are we gonna get for Juneteenth? I already told you, black people should just get the whole day off. Just only black people. I said this before. It's the same way how I feel about Caribbeans on Labor Day. I said this before. But what are you gonna do for black people?
Yeah, okay.
Black people need an incentive here. Like, if you black, you get over 75% off on all these select goods or something. On all the goods, not select, all the goods, something.
I definitely understand what you mean, but the best thing they could do for you is make Juneteenth ice cream, and hopefully they have non-dairy version for your black ass. So,
hey, you remember that episode of Atlanta where R.I.P. Kevin Samuels was giving out scholarships to everyone who was black?
Yes.
We need something like that for Juneteenth. Something like that. Black people, black kids, they get some sort of stuff.
Well, that's discrimination, Gio. That's discrimination.
It's Juneteenth.
And in this country, there's no discrimination.
What? Have you lived here?
Juneteenth is for everybody.
Have you lived here?
Juneteenth is for everybody now.
Oh,
not just your holiday. It's our holiday.
What, we
even
all
me,
from some hood?
Even us, the Caribbean Americans.
We still black though, Bashtin. Sure. We're all from some hood. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Queens is not the same as Brooklyn.
That is very. Hey, you know what? You're absolutely right, because Brooklyn is better. We know this.
Queens is a whole immigrant as a whole, but
oh, here you go.
Yeah, but anyways, we don't gotta get into that type of theory right now.
Queens
I just want to say
Queens is the most diverse borough in the city.
It's Pride Month. It's June, and let's get to the first song.
Sure.
We do want to discuss pretty much the half year, like the half point of year, like what's been going on this year, and doing like a quick review on what's going on. So the first song I will love to play, this is one of Gio's favorite songs. This is the normal version, the regular version, the first version.
Oh, really?
Of Flavor in Your Ear by Craig Mack.
Okay, don't hate me, but I download the remix version instead.
I sent you all the music, man.
You did? I didn't get it.
No, you got it. You just didn't look for it.
Wait,
but it's fine.
No, did you seriously? Did you send me it? Because I don't.
I'm joking to you. It was also the remix version.
Oh, okay.
You're good. You're good.
Good. Okay, great. Flavor in Your Ear, the remix, featuring Biggie, the Notorious B.I.G., Busta Rhymes, and Rampage. We'll be right back with more Black Seinfeld. Flavor in Your Ear remix, Craig Mack, B.I.G., LL Cool J, Busta Bus, Rampage. Welcome back, everyone, to Black Seinfeld, the show about nothing. And we have hit the halfway mark, people. That's right, it's June 2022. 6 months into 2022. And we're here to reflect on what happened this past half year. All of the good, the bad, the in-between, the things we got correct, because we got some things correct, and I want us to get our credit for it. For example, Bashtin, in 2022, no, not even, in 2020, we said, hey, this whole COVID thing, it's not going to go away by 2022, but things are going to go back to normal 2022. And here we are in June, and things are kind of back to normal.
Yeah, instead of trying to fix the problem, we have decided to live with the problem.
It's not the point, Bashtin. I'm trying
almost
to give us credit.
Almost like a toxic relationship.
I'm giving us credit for predicting what happened, Bashtin. Okay, that's all I'm doing. I'm not looking for that right now, okay?
We didn't predict it. We just said, hey, I saw this movie before. That's what you do, Gio, right? Don't you go to the movies and halfway through the movie you already predicted the ending? That's what we did, man.
That's fair. Yeah. Yes, that is true.
He's like, I saw this movie before. Almost like every time the Knicks blows the lead in the beginning of the fourth quarter, it's like, hey, this happened like 20 times this month, this year. So,
Wow.
But yeah.
But yes, Bashtin, let's begin in the let's start with January 1st, 2022, where we said goodbye. New York said goodbye to former mayor Bill de Blasio, and taking his place, stepping into the new mayoral position, is former cop, former Brooklyn borough president, and now Mayor Eric Adams. And I remember, Bashtin, within the first couple of days, while Eric Adams was on the troll here, he was trying to take the trains, and he made like a little PSA while on the trains about homelessness here in New York City. Basically, he was on the train talking about homelessness when literally like 5 feet beside him there was like a homeless person just sleeping. And then I remember there was this other time he was at like a train station outside, and he was looking at some woman getting mugged, and so like he called 911 to sort of report the crime that was in place. I remember that was the, let's say, the humble beginnings of Mayor Eric Adams before everyone started hating him immediately.
Yeah, and I'm thinking back, and I'm glad you brought that up, because we have to think back 6 months ago where we knew the man he was going to be, but in that situation, he showed himself as a very mature, very like strong principled person, right? You're in the train, you're talking to the reporters, you're taking the train to show like, hey, New York City, we like trains, right? We don't have to take the bus. We don't have to drive everywhere. As you said, there was a homeless man sleeping with on the same cart that he was in.
Yes.
But don't forget, Gio, there was also a homeless person in the other cart yelling too. So, yeah, it was 2 homeless people. We call that the New York City in the afternoon.
Yes.
So from that video, we were hoping that maybe, just maybe a little bit, that he wouldn't use policing as a way to solve the homeless problem.
Right.
But he did, like, immediately. He said, this is what we're going to do. We're going to get the police to help these the homeless people on the subway, because it's not meant to sleep in, it's meant for transportation. Understandable. I totally agree with him there, right? I used to take the train a lot. Kind of didn't like that in terms of safetyness, right?
Right.
But he never made a plan B in terms of, hey, if we remove a homeless person, we should have a place for them to stay overnight and try to help them build their lives back. That we don't know what they're going through. Let's see how we could help. But it's been 6 months since then. I'm no longer a New Yorker, according to Gio. I'm now West Coast Bash. I'm looking from the outside and say, wow, the ghetto,
I mean, you're not wrong.
That was pretty bad in LA too. Like what the things that's going on in their elections is a little bit crazy, but I think I'll talk about that later. But let's focus on New York. Gio, how what's the streets saying? How are the streets feeling?
Mayor Eric Adams.
About Mayor Eric Adams. Been 6 months since then.
6 months.
Yeah.
Into Mayor Eric Adams' mayoral reign, and I'm not gonna say it's unanimous like Mayor Bill de Blasio, but there is a nice majority of New Yorkers that already can't stand Eric Adams because he'd rather hang out and listen to A$AP Rocky perform at a what was it, Wells Fargo or something?
Yeah, it was a dank, nasty ass bank called Wells Fargo.
Yeah, with what's her face, Cara Delevingne.
Delevingne.
Yeah, hanging out with Cara Delevingne than rather, help the city that's highly in need right now. And he thinks
Who also got COVID from that event?
and he got
by the way?
COVID from that goddamn event too. Okay? See what a great leader, what a great example Eric Adams is sending us right now, okay? But you know what, Bashtin? He did one thing right. That's right, Bashtin. After all his flaws, heavy policing, allowing the MTA commissioner to say, "Oh, you know how we're gonna stop fare evasion." You know what I'm saying? You know how we're gonna keep our MTA safe with stopping fare evasion. More cops. MTA buses, you're not gonna go to the back door anymore. You can't leave through the back door. You're going out through the front door. Eric Adams, despite all of that,
Yeah, that's not true. That ain't happened.
no, it's actually
the
happening.
buses,
Yeah,
the MTA buses.
Yes.
I took the bus recently.
Oh, they let you go in the back?
Yeah, of course. That'd be ridiculous.
Well, they're starting off with few routes first, not every route yet. This
no,
is
you
a
can't
test
do
first.
any route with coming through the back door.
I'm
It's
telling
ridiculous.
you, Bash, it's the thing.
When I came back from New York, I took the bus home. I didn't take the Uber because I didn't feel like spending $50. I'd rather spend $6, right?
Right.
I took the Q3, switched it to the Q2. That Q2 was packed to the brim.
Right. But what I'm saying, Bastion, is they're using a few routes for now. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's not implemented everywhere yet.
Want to save money, but don't want to fix nothing. Bet.
Exactly. But
Sound like a Caribbean father. Let's go.
But there's one good thing Eric Adams has done for the city of New York, and that was allow Kyrie Irving to once again don't roll your eyes, Bastion, because this was a good move. I mean, in hindsight now, it didn't really make a difference, but he allowed Kyrie Irving to once again play at the Barclays Center. You know why, Bastion? That made sense because people from other states, they were able to perform and play at the Barclays Center because, again, the whole COVID thing was all states' rights. You know what I'm saying? COVID vaccination was states' rights. If you're from New York and if you work out in New York, you have to be vaccinated. But Eric Adams, he made it special for entertainers and for athletes like Kyrie Irving. And I still support it. You know why? Because you can't drop 60 points, Bastion, but Kyrie Irving can. Okay, did he do it during the playoffs, Bastion? Because I know you little smart ass gonna say something. No, they didn't. Okay, but don't worry, that's what next year is for. That's what next season's for. Now you may talk.
Sir, the good man, Kendrick Lamar, in the track savior, said he's seen a Christian say the vaccine was the mark of the beast. Then he caught COVID and prayed for Pfizer for relief. Then I caught COVID and started to question Kyrie. All right, your favorite rapper, your favorite rapper's rapper, right?
Yes.
Your old favorite rapper could have been his favorite rapper. Talking about Tupac, right?
Yes.
Kendrick Lamar said that. Just letting you know. Even he questioned whatever. What is Kyrie anyways? And he also got swept by the Eastern Division Conference Championship Boston Celtics. Embarrassing. Swept in the playoffs. You know what swept means? 0 wins. Did all this for Kyrie, and you lost James Harden. But yeah, maybe that was the most interesting thing Eric Adams has done. Be a fool. And made a little clause for the entertainers of New York. But hey, COVID numbers are up, and that's how it is right now. Gio is very upset that I clowned his boring team, but no worries. Let's move to the next thing. In terms of sports, there's also sports betting. Like Gio losing all his money to the Nets.
First off,
losing in their first round, getting swept. I can only imagine.
I have not done any online sports betting, but
he lost his life savings betting all his money on KD scoring more than 35 points, but he did not do that.
The streets are eating out here due to sports betting, online sports betting. I've seen it happen. Outlets like DraftKings and Caesars and FanDuel, all these new MGM, right?
Mm-hmm.
All these outlets now are here in New York. You can go to the city, you can see all the damn advertisement in Times Square and right off of MSG. You see it everywhere, people, and everyone is taken to it like hotcakes, man. It is ridiculous how much money that all these sports betting has made off rip in New York City. It's insane.
Yeah, people have been waiting for this for a long time, and we discussed it earlier this year. Most likely, if you were interested in sports betting, you had a bookie or a friend in New Jersey, and that's who you're connected to.
Yeah.
Now you could do that in the comfort of your living room couch, facing your 32-inch TV, hoping that you can make enough money to buy a 55-inch Q70 Samsung TV.
I
with
know
some nice speakers.
friends that would drive to New Jersey just so they could do online sports betting.
Yeah. So it's getting insane. I'm completely against it, still against it. Though, Gio, let me tell you something. So while I was going to the store out in LA, someone stopped me and asked me to sign some petitions. The first couple of petitions made sense. Then the petition that said sports betting in LA, and I said, I'm actually totally against this.
Why
like,
are you against it?
I'm against sports betting. I'm against betting in general. It's like having the option. We live in America, so it's a capitalist society. We already have a lot of options and things to spend on. You know, you could be that person on Instagram to write a book for 40 pages and sell it, and for $20 each, and boom, you make 40K, and now you're on a podcast, right? So sports betting is just another way to spend money and lose at the same time, and it's not easy. It's difficult. And I just don't want my people to, be in the negative because they thought Kyrie will do something in the playoff. So
it's funny that you keep mentioning Kyrie, but I totally see it, Bashtin. You're not saying it. You're not addressing the elephant in the room, but I see it. I see it on your face, Bashtin. You know why Bashtin is against online sports betting and sports betting in general? He saw Uncut Gems, and he saw what happened to Adam Sandler in that movie due to his sick gambling addiction. That's all you have to say, Bashtin. He lost his wife. He got his ass beat by The Weeknd. He died. I guess I shouldn't have said that, but hey, it's been 3 years. He died at the end.
But it's important to know, it's like he had money to put up, right? Most people don't have anything to put up. They had $10, $20, $30 at the end of the week, and they're putting up, hoping they could triple that. But, shout out to the people in New York. Shout out to the people, that's spending money on sports gambling.
Yeah,
I'm not mad.
Good. You shouldn't be a party pooper.
In the casino. Won some, lose some. And that's
right.
The game.
But always, Bashtin, the house always wins. The house always wins. But
the house is allowing you to live.
I also feel like you shouldn't be a party pooper on this, Bashtin. Let people learn the hard way. And let people get some M's off of this too. I've seen it.
You only seen the wins.
That's right.
If someone makes 40K, I promise you they lost 80. If you seen someone make 40K, I promise you they lost 80. That's just the game, Gio. That's just the game. And you know what else is the game? NFT. The rise and fall of NFT.
It only took a year.
I've been calling it for a minute. It's embarrassing. It's getting worse day by day.
Is it?
Oh yeah, crypto is down in the dumps right now. I seen crypto's worth $100 now, worth nothing. I'm talking about Luna.
What's Luna?
Luna is just a cryptocurrency that lost a lot of value within like 3 weeks. It was crazy.
Oh wait, are we gonna talk about crypto or are we gonna talk about NFTs? Are we gonna do both?
It's pretty much in the same bag,
right?
Because it's one affects the other.
Yes.
Because of how the hype is. I'm not even talking about the technology that's powering both of these and how it's bad for the environment. But at the end of the day, it's mostly hype. Hype is what sells.
Right.
Hype is what allows you to buy a ugly monkey for $250,000, and you sell it for $300. Then that person sells it for $400. Then that person sells it for $500. Now that other person can only sell it for $30. Why? Because the hype is dead. Then it never had any value in the first place.
Right. It's all about how these NFTs and how all these cryptocurrencies have been marketed, right? And what a lot of these companies have found is, hey, if we attach the influencer, a celebrity, with this crypto and make them the figurehead, the poster head of this crypto or NFT, you know, people are going to be interested in it due to the person who's backing it. And so when that happens, right, the crypto or the NFT will be at an asking price of this many. So, you know, the people who's involved in the NFT or even the celebrity himself will be like, of course, some of the early investors in it. And when you're an early investor, of course, you're going to promise all your fans, all the people that invest in the coins, like, oh, you're going to be part of the Discord and you're going to be
up.
Right. We're going to be able to talk to, I don't know, Lil Uzi or whatever.
And the founder.
Right. You're going to be able to talk to the founder and the celebrity, and you get all these like cool artworks, and you know this is going to be a continuous thing. But then what happens is, you know, the buy-in prices is this much, and what's going to happen is there's going to be a thing called a rug pull where everyone will the main people who started the NFT will sort of back out or just take out all their money, and then watch the stock for that NFT or that crypto start plummeting, and people lose thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars of what they invested into whatever NFT and crypto. And it's been happening left and right. It's been happening with all these influencers, from 6ix9ine to Lil Uzi to the Island Boys, and now even Hasbulla, dog. I mean, I love Hasbulla, but damn it, Hasbulla, nah, dog, don't do that to the people.
Hey, Gio, you know how we always joke about selling out? Well, the thing about cryptocurrency is there's always a price, right? So let's say a cryptocurrency comes up to you, like an NFT comes up to you, Gio. How much are you willing to flip for the cause? If they say, hey, Gio, we're going to give you $2.5 million, all you got to do is promote this. Would you do it?
And it's an NFT?
That's all it is.
Am I the figurehead for it?
You're one of them.
I'm one of them? No, I wouldn't do it.
$2.5 million just for you to promote it for 2 weeks?
Nah, I wouldn't do it. Because I'm smart.
You would do it.
No.
You would do it.
I'm telling you, no. It's got to be higher.
Oh, 3.5 million.
No, it's got to be higher.
Then that's it. That's how cryptocurrency works. I'm telling you the prices, like the actual prices people are actually getting paid.
Right.
It was like 2.5 million.
Damn.
Just to promote something for a day, and that's it.
Yeah, or you know what they do? No, because here's the thing also, Bashtin, there's like a countdown on when the NFT is going to be available. So they're going to do like a countdown of like, oh, hey, my NFT is going to be
It's not hard. All you got to do is retweet. You know, they send you the tweets for you to post and the picture and the GIF.
Right.
That's all you got to do. Get that 2.5 million. You know?
Is that something you going to do, Bashtin?
Jalen Green had a NFT on his chain on a dunk contest. He missed all his dunks. It was embarrassing.
Well,
shout out to the rookie.
Well, that dunk contest has now been regarded as one of the worst dunk contests in NBA All-Star history. But oh yeah, and that's another thing. I hate how commodified NFTs have and cryptos have become. For example, the crypto.com arena still irks me to this very freaking day. Okay.
Speaking of crypto.com, even the arena, because it's now the Lakers, I always annoyed, and I tell this to my little brother all the time. My favorite commercials during the Super Bowl was the LeBron one.
Yes.
Where he's talking to LeBron in the past.
Yes.
Talking about the future.
Yes.
Right? But sadly enough, it's a crypto.com commercial, and it was disturbing. It was disgusting. It was just tainted just because of that logo.
Yeah.
Beautiful commercial. Best commercial ever. Tainted.
I mean, black people managed to give some great memes out of it. Don't invite Delonte West over for Thanksgiving.
Oh, geez. But in terms of, you know, everybody has a buying point. Even LeBron gets bought. Even Stephen Curry gets bought. So even Shaq got bought. So sorry to let you, Gios, either you have a high morale and you could make money elsewhere, do other things. Awesome. I'm on that same page too. but 2.5 million is still 2.5 million.
That is fair,
So
Bastion.
that it's a difficult situation that if you're ever in, that's when you'll really make the decision. This is all hypothetical, people,
Hmm.
but think about it.
But also it's interesting that we're talking about all of these like rug pulls and crypto scams, because in 2022 we saw, as far as Netflix documentaries and just documentaries in general, we saw the rise of these scam documentaries, these scammer fraudulent documentaries, such as The Tinder Swindler, who swindled various women out of hundreds and thousands of dollars. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you had documentaries like that. You had documentaries, like, again, we're talking about bitcoins, about this Canadian site, where he basically did a Ponzi scheme and he stole everyone's Bitcoin money, and then he died in the age of 30. So 2022 was the rise in all of these scammer ass documentaries, and unfortunately they're sort of glorifying these scammers in a way, because back then crack dealing and drug dealing was cool, but now in 2022 it's all about scamming, like the Tinder Swindler or Bad Vegan. I don't know if you've seen Bad Vegan, but it was basically like another scam where the woman had this like restaurant or whatever, and and she was married to like this big time scamming dude who, ironically enough, to bring it back to gambling, had a serious gambling problem, and he basically like controlled her and just got all of her money. It was crazy.
Yeah, I think it's what makes for good TV. Looking at the villain. The villains has the more interesting story, right? Or what? We're gonna get another Mr. Rogers documentary. He's too nice of a guy. Boring.
Hey, you got a movie out of it and a documentary out of it.
I didn't see the movie, but the documentary was very beautiful. I do
Love the
recommend people
documentary,
watching it.
yes. And Tom Hanks played Fred Rogers in the movie, which was actually not bad at all. It was a good movie. I saw it in theaters.
Interesting. So yeah, that was the rise and fall. But speaking of crypto scammers, don't forget your favorite Razzle Khan.
The Versace Bedouin, yes, Razzle Khan. How they
Yeah.
doing?
I don't know. I did not double check. I did put it on the list for us to talk about for like 3 seconds, but remember they were associated with a scam that happened long time ago in 2017, and the government been looking at the $4.5 billion for a very long time, and someone recently moved it. And even though cryptocurrency is more like people think it's more secretive, it's really not. There is a ledger for people to follow so they know where the money is going. And that's how people know about the rug pull that you was saying earlier. It's like, yeah, this is his wallet and this is the time he did the rug pull. Maybe 3 hours after he promoted it on his Twitter, everything went up 300% and he just ate. So that's the game for you. That's the game.
Yeah.
So, we're speaking of online gambling crypto, gambling in stocks, gambling with Kyrie, Eric Adams.
Yeah. What else happened in 2022? Oh, of course, you can't forget the slap heard around the world, where we had numerous think pieces and all these white women were traumatized off of one slap from one Will Smith to Chris Rock in the Academy Awards, where has been overshunned now from all the winners, all the losers, all the nominations, has been overshunned by this one event that happened. And of course, everyone had, and when I mean everyone had their opinions, their think pieces, all that good stuff, right, Bashtin? You remember that time?
It was a painful time to remember, but I always tell people this, if you want something quiet, you have to be quiet. If you're loud about it, you will forever remember it. So, Gio, what's the joke? What was the joke that started the event?
Oh, G.I. Jane 2?
That's it. If he didn't say anything, you would not remember that joke.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I always tell people. You would not remember that joke. We all remember the joke G.I. Jane too.
That one was
So
the devil.
so anyways, the slap that the world heard. Rest up, Will Smith. Hopefully, he could come back with a really good movie.
In a,
Hoping, it could be like Tom Cruise because he still has it in him. I believe it. Hitch too.
oh,
Put some money.
absolutely. In a land where hurt people, calling it culture. That's
Ooh,
right.
nice.
That's right.
That's two quotes from Kendrick Lamar today.
Yeah.
You have all year.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I can't forget the Wordle craze.
Yeah. Poor Wordle. Wordle is now owned by the New York Times, and I still see people playing Wordle, but it's not as hot as it once was in the streets. Like it's still trending in the morning, like people still playing Wordle, but and I don't really see people playing it like that on the train anymore.
Yeah, I do think it was the clones that kind of helped kill the game a little bit. But
Yeah.
that's just the game. You can't really copyright a game format in a way. We have so many Breath of the Wild remakes and other source material, but source material is based on other source material. So Wordle came and went, but it's still here. I still think it's going to be just fine. But yeah. And then, of course, the last thing I want to discuss before we play our next song is the Genius documentary.
Oh yeah.
One of the loudest documentary that came out earlier this year. Of course, if you want to listen to our review, we did discuss it earlier this year about my disappointment, but also the things I actually like about it. But overall, it's a no-go for me.
Your opinion has not changed.
My opinion has not changed. Like I keep thinking how the first part was great, part 2 was cool, and part 3 was not good. And it's like, oh, you could have just made a really long, like 4-hour documentary or just part 1, part 2, and just leave it from there. But that's just me. We are both artists. We're all artists, and artists could comment on other artists' stuff. And that's pretty much where I want to leave it off. Let's start with the next song, Gio.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I see Bashtin getting mad again.
Let's start with the next song.
Sure,
Let's start
Bashtin.
with some James Zoo Flu featuring Arthur Verocai.
All right. That was James Zoe, aka the Big Zoe, with Flu.
How you like that song, Gio?
I guess the mind frame that I am right now, to me, it just felt like noise. So I couldn't really robotic noise. So I couldn't really get jiggy with it.
Interesting. It does have its part where it's easier to listen to in the middle, and then it gets more complex. But I do think the beginning of it does throw people off. It sounds like scratchy Norse metal, and that's just a different type of genre that it's just conversation wise sounds great.
Yeah, what is this considered?
No, it's still electric. Electronic. Just a simple term, electronic music.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool.
But yeah, but speaking of music, so much music has dropped this year.
That's right.
Every other week we tend to discuss the albums that dropped, and the thing about music is sometimes we talk about it and we only listen to it maybe 10, 15 times, and it's just off our rotation. We don't really bring it back onto our phones. But Gio, this year, we're halfway through. What albums are actually still in your rotation from the albums that we discussed?
Oh, from the albums that we discussed. Okay.
No, not even from what we discussed, but like if you have other things that we never got a chance to go over in the show, what else are you listening to let the people know?
That is a great question, Bashtin. And ladies and gentlemen, non-binaries, gender neutrals, 2022 has been so far a phenomenal year for music. I mean, like, who can't forget the return of the one, the only King Kunta himself, K-Dot, Kendrick Lamar. We're going to get into that a bit later. But also, we've had many surprises, many returns from big heavyweights like Pusha T, of course, Conway the Machine, Bad Bunny. But first off, I want to start off in 2021, where there was a surprise little album, if you will, that came out on Christmas Eve. And I can't believe I'm saying this. This is taking me a lot to say this, but Nas' album, Nas' album. All right, I'm gonna do this. Nas's album Magic is still freaking incredible.
Yep.
It's short, it's 9 tracks, simplistic beats, Hit Boy, DJ Premier. It's just Nas doing what he does best, just rapping, talking his ish, great features, simplistic beats that Nas can rhyme on, nothing too crazy for him. Give me that old school boom bap. It was freaking phenomenal. And I keep listening to it all the time because it's that damn good. And you know, it kind of kills me to say that, but you know, I have to give respect where it is given, where it is due, because I didn't really care for King's Disease 1. Didn't really care for King's Disease 2. But this Magic album right here, this album's the truth. I'm not gonna lie, Bashtin. It's really good. Everyone should take a listen to it if you want that old Nas feel. If you want Nas from '94, but of course older and more wise and all that stuff. This is it. This is it for you.
Yeah, I just want to piggyback on what Gio said. This doesn't sound, and I think we discussed this in the beginning of the year. It doesn't sound dated. It sounds like he puts a lot of energy in it. Because we could tell when some of these older rappers are just doing it for the check, but the energy is still there, and it's always great to see. It's motivational. It's like, you know, a man like Nas in his late 40s still able to, you know, do this stuff. It's like, all right, we should be in that level too. So it is a little bit motivational. I always tell people that my favorite track is Speechless, and that's what brought me into track to text Jill. Like, yo, you have to listen to this project.
Yeah, I just would like to give Hit Boy all of the credit in the world for, I don't know what he's done to Nas, but he's reinvigorated his career, and they've become the new duo that I look forward to listening to, because I guess Hit Boy gets it. You know, he understands what Nas needs. He understands Nas as an artist. He understands the history and the past works of Nas, and he understands what works best for him. And he's been able to, you know, give us at least 3 projects. And of course, he's coming out. We're looking forward to a King's Disease 3 in the future. He said that in the latest Magic project. So I can't wait to listen to it, and I'm sure the rest of the hip hop stratosphere can't wait to listen to it as well.
Yeah. There is an album that I never got a chance to discuss that was released around February. It's with the Hikaru Utada called Bad Mode, and she is a Japanese American sing-songwriter. And of course, if you played the Kingdom Hearts series, you know her by her like the biggest hit singles.
Oh,
from
you don't hear me. Oh, her.
Yeah, her.
That's all you had to say.
Yeah, so that's how people like me know who she is. But she's dropped many projects, many albums since then, and this album's really good. Of course, I never got a chance to fully dissect the lyrics because there are translations on other websites. But some music, you know, you don't gotta listen to the words. You can just listen to the vibe, and that's what like international music is all about too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because there's people around the world that listen to American hip hop. They don't know what they're saying, but they love it. So I always thought it was pretty interesting. But yeah, I think this album had One Last Kiss, and that's what brought me into listening to the album, because One Last Kiss was also in the Neo Genesis Evangelion soundtrack. And I thought that song was amazing. So I was like, all right, she still got it. She still got it. And that's kind of one of the projects I do recommend people to listen to, especially if you play Kingdom Hearts. So,
of course, that is a classic game right there. I know, Bashtin, you're not too fond of Kingdom Hearts 3 that came out recently.
Mm-hmm. And they're starting to make Kingdom Hearts 4. So
yeah, I'm aware. How you feel about Kingdom Hearts 4 coming out?
Insane. The trailer looks nasty. But anyways, I know Nego is another album that we slightly discussed.
Yes.
But it's just like a compilation record and sounds great. So nothing wrong with it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Well, it's interesting. I would like to piggyback off what you were saying about, sometimes you don't need to understand the native tongue of whatever artist is saying in order for you to understand the feeling that they portray within their music. And of course, let's go back to another international star, international superstar, international megastar. Recently dropped his new album, Un Verano Sin Ti, which translates to Bastion, A Summer Without You, from the one, the only, Bad Bunny. The man done did it again, Bastion. Reggaeton, trap vibes. And of course, he's starting to play with new sounds now. Sounds of salsa, sounds of Afro beats. That's right, Bastion. Bad Bunny's doing Afrobeat tracks now. And you know what? It sounds pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. This album right here so far has been my album of the summer. He has good. I played some tracks from Bad Bunny, I believe last week. Titi Me Pregunto, which is a song about how he was telling his aunt that he has many gals them, and he's smashing all the gals them for this summer. And I live vicariously, I should say, through that song, because this is going to be a hot boy summer, a thought boy summer, a hoochie daddy pants wearing summer. I mean, if Tuesday gave us any preview of that 94-degree weather, I mean, just go outside, Bastion. You're still in New York. Go outside. Go where all the Latinos are, where the Latinas are. They're bumping this Bad Bunny album on rotation.
From what I'm hearing is that Bad Bunny is him. Like, he is the next big artist, and
yes,
he's a global superstar now.
Global superstar. I saw him in a recent trailer, a movie trailer with Brad Pitt, out of all people. That's right, Brad Pitt. He is in a movie with Bad Bunny, and it's called Bullet Train.
I didn't see the trailer just yet, but I will check it out. So, superstar phenomenal, Bad Bunny. That's him.
That's right. Un Verano Sin Ti, A Summer Without You. If you want an album about heartbreaks, but some good reggaeton, some trap drums, some salsa, some Afro beats, look no further than this record right here. This is gonna get the party started for you all summer long. This is the album to smoke hookah to. This is the album to dance with the gal dem. This is all of that, Bastion. All of that. One of my favorites albums of the year so far. Definitely.
I respect that. What else are you listening to?
I am also listening to Bastion. I gotta give this man some credit here, okay? Because all these mainstream listeners, all these casual listeners, you know what they like to do, Bastion? They like to complain. They like to complain like, oh, this album didn't do as well as the last album. It doesn't have hits like the last album. He just dropped this album out of nowhere. I wasn't really expecting it. Why didn't it sell so great? And that's my problem with all these casual listeners today. They don't care about how much an album sells. It goes straight to your phone. It goes straight to the DSP. You don't buy these albums like that. You know what I'm saying? But y'all need to put respect on Abel Tesfay's name, because once it was the beginning of 2022, this man dropped, in my opinion, still one of the best albums of the year, one of the most concise albums of the year, one of the most sonically pleasing albums of the year, one of the most cohesive albums of the year. And quite biasly, because this centers around radio, something that Bash and I love. It's honestly one of the best projects that he's ever done, in my humble opinion. And that's Dawn FM, an album that takes a reflection on life, transitioning to the afterlife, and going back and looking back and seeing what you've done in your past with the Galdem. Abel simping this time around. That's something we're not used to. You know what I'm saying? We're not used to hearing Abel simping. But you know what we are going to be used to seeing Abel do now? 80 synth pop records, and he killed it throughout this whole album of 80 synth pop. And I for one, I am flabbergasted, Bashtin. I don't use that word often. I'm flabbergasted that there aren't more hits from this album on the radio, because Sacrifice. Why isn't that a huge record? That's a freaking radio record right there. Take My Breath. Why don't I hear that on the radio? You're My Best Friend. Why isn't that on the radio? Out of Time. Why isn't that on the radio? His Michael Jackson wannabe ass on that record. Why isn't that on the radio?
Quick question.
Yes.
When Beyonce dropped Lemonade, did any of those records, I know they were played on the radio, but did they stay on the radio?
Like afterwards?
Yeah.
I remember hearing, well, not recently, no, but I remember for a long time I kept hearing, I ain't sorry. I ain't sorry. I ain't sorry. I remember that song.
Did play on the radio.
A lot.
Okay.
A lot. Why is it? Why not able? Huh? That's what I'm saying. That's what makes me mad, because that album is freaking. I think it's better than After Hours. Honestly, like that. It's really that good. And I loved After Hours. That was like my number 2 of 2020. But I guess because Abel just dropped the album, he didn't really release anything leading up to it. All he released was Take My Breath. And honestly, I just thought that was just an extra from After Hours. I didn't know like this was a part of his master grand plan of a trilogy and all that stuff. I didn't know.
I do think like as artists, what they try to do is at a certain point in time, they no longer have to make music for money. They no longer have to hit the record label's demands like, oh, you have to do this, do that, because we have to reach this. He could sell those records if he wanted to sell records, because the previous album sold records.
But this one master records because of Blinding Lights.
Why? I think I saw a lot of people comment in terms of the Weekend fan base. They want to be part of it, so they tend to buy the vinyl, buy the CDs, buy the clothing, and that does count as sales. But this time around, it was just straight to stream. This is what I would like to call maybe even like a mixtape, because this does give a little bit of a mixtape vibe because of the lack of presence of like, this has to be the as you said, you were naming a bunch of songs. Any one of these songs could have been a hit single. Any one of the songs could have been the first, second, or third single in order to promote the album before the whole thing drops. But he didn't do any of that. So he kind of dropped it like a mixtape. You know, no leak. Now, no one knew it was coming, and it was just easier to kind of fit that demographic of people that's going to just jump to it and listen to it immediately. That's the way I look at it. The same way like when Beyonce dropped. Right, when it dropped for the people that wanted to listen to it, and they heard it, and it was a success, but it didn't sell the same amount as number 4.
That's
number 4 was the pop album that was designed to hit the numbers and hit the charts. There was like 5-6 singles off of that album that was being pushed month after month. So yeah, you know, I do think there's more to analyze for Don FM. Not in just the music, but also how he released it and why he released it that way.
I guess you're right, Bashtin.
You should question it too. I do agree with you. I do think a lot of songs should have been singles that should be playing on the radio.
Oh, 100%. It's such an incredible album or mixtape or whatever you want to call it. I think it's an album. Like the man dropped the whole dance DJing thing. I don't know if you've seen it, where he was in the club and he was DJing, just playing the whole album.
Yeah.
He got goddamn Jim Carrey narrating through this, man. This album's incredible.
It's the radio person now. It was amazing. It was amazing.
Getting incredible, man. What other albums are you?
Just speaking of mixtapes, I would love to talk about Capri Songs, FKA Twigs.
Capri Songs.
Capri Songs and FKA Twigs, which she said is a mixtape.
Yes.
And I do believe it. It's a mixtape. It's filled with multiple themes. It's just not one idea like all her previous projects was always just one idea. But this one is just a lot of influence with music and Afro beats, and just like being part of the UK community, which is something that I didn't really expect. I thought like maybe we should just do a song with like Slow Tie or something. But what we got from this project was, and we did discuss it earlier this year, and I'm still listening to this record. It's great. Every song is a banger. I listened to this project from the beginning to end, has no skips whatsoever. So, and I also like the music videos that she's been dropping too. So it's been pretty fun. This is another, like, Don FM and this project, they came out like maybe a week away from each other. And I would love to cop both of these albums on vinyl, like a nice, beautiful colored vinyl. So I can hang it up, because these projects are still it. They came early in the year and they're still on rotation.
Okay.
So yeah, once you said Don FM, I have to say Capri Songs like immediately right after, because it dropped right after.
Yeah, love Capri Suns from FKA Twigs. Love the mixtape. Love the sounds that she was going for. Love the Afro beats. Love the dancehall. Love the R&B, of course. And I loved how happy she felt. She seemed like she was in this album. It was a more upbeat side of FKA Twigs. It's something that we're not really used to like that, And I appreciated it a lot. I appreciated her in a very lovely and comfortable space in her life.
Yeah. And of course, the albums that we recently discussed that we don't really have to dig in too deeply is like Pusha T.
Yeah.
It's Almost Dry. It still sounds great. It's a perfect album to listen to front and back. No, I don't listen to the Ye versus Pharrell or the Pharrell versus Ye. Do you listen to those?
Oh, I got plenty. It's
compilations.
So many, yeah. Oh no, I don't listen to those, because it's basically the same damn album, but just cut up differently. It's just formatted differently. I don't really. I didn't think it was necessary. I don't know why he came out with that. I hope it wasn't his idea. Maybe it was just a good music thing, but I felt like it was completely unnecessary, and we didn't need it. Like I didn't care about it. I looked at it, but it was just no.
Bramilton is like the best way to start the record.
Yes.
10 times out of 10, there's no other way to start the record. That is the best way to start the record.
This album, Bashtin, it keeps getting better and better every time I listen to it, and I agreed with you. Brambleton is the best way to kick off the album. But one track I keep going back to now is "Dreaming of the Past" featuring Kanye. I got plenty. It's so many, yeah. They say give me.
Yeah.
It's too many. I keep going back to that record. It sort of gives me like that same bounce like Games We Played did a little bit. It has sort of that same rhythmic flow, to me at least.
Interesting, because I keep going back to the record he did with No Malice.
Oh yeah, the last track.
And Labyrinth. Because of how he attacked that record. Like, he still got it. Like, No Malice still is. If he wanted to come back and to do these coke bars the same way Pusha is doing, it'll be phenomenal. But yeah, it's definitely one of those records we brought back. And another record that we recently spoke about too was Vince Staples' Ramona Park Broke My Heart. Is another record that you could continuously listen to back and forth over and over again, and you feel differently as you listen to it. And you feel, especially if you're a long-term Vince Staples fan, you're trying to understand him now than ever before.
Yep.
He's no longer the person in the mixtapes back in those days.
He's a grown-ass man.
So it's always sounds great. And we recently spoke to it. Those albums came out in April 14. The other one came out in April as well. So yeah.
There's another album that I messaged you recently, and I said, damn, this album is really, really good. And depending on how this goes throughout the remainder of the year, this might be in my top 3 albums of the year. And it's probably one of the saddest albums I've heard, but it just sounds so good. It's so cohesive. The beats just blend together within itself. This man was so vulnerable. He opened up in a way in which you don't really see that much in hip hop. And he's only 26 years old. That's right. It's one Denzel Curry. Melt my eyes. See your future. Whenever it's a rainy day, I play this album. Whenever it's gloomy outside, I play this album. Wherever I need to, like, whenever I'm in the car and it's late at night and I doze off, I play this album. This album freaking slaps. It's sad as hell, though. Don't get me wrong. This album is sad, okay? Denzel Curry's going through it, okay? He is going through it in this album. But damn it, it's really good. It's really good. It's really good.
I'm actually wearing an Unlocked t-shirt right now from his last album he did with I forgot what's the homie's name again.
Kenny Beats.
With Kenny Beats. Mm-hmm. And just to see his growth as an artist, he's always been really, really consistent, and he's getting better because he's fine-tuning his craft, he's fine-tuning the beat selection and his lyric content. So I do agree with Gio. The more you listen to it, the more you understand it. I think that's the theme this year. Well, it's supposed to be like that for music, but I'm not going to lie. Sometimes you listen to it 3 times and you understand the album.
Of course.
Right? It's kind of rare. Like, even Don FM, it's like, yeah, there was a deeper meaning to it, but you heard every song and it's like, all right, this is great. You know, same thing with FK Twigs. Like, I heard every song. It's like, this is amazing. But definitely this Denzel Curry, Melt Your Eyes, you have to listen to it and put the pieces together.
That's right.
In order for you to enjoy it a little bit more.
Someone give that man a hug.
Another record that I know Gio wasn't a big fan of, or I don't think he really cared for.
What's that?
My main man, Earl Sweatshirt.
Oh,
Sick. Yeah, you know, I'm a huge fan of Earl Sweatshirt, Mr. Early Man, bar for bar, destroy any of these rappers nowadays. And I am a big fan of his small amounts of, like, small content, you know, just 30 minutes or less is just a perfect amount of music for him, you know. And I always still recommend to listen to Earl Sweatshirt. Sick. Hoping for more projects. Okay. And more features. Okay. And, you know, and this, I have 2 more artists that I just want to name.
Sure.
Quell Chris, Death Fame, you know, that came out not too long ago, like, it was like two weeks ago. Spoke about it on the show.
This is the second time I heard of this dude.
I spoke to you about him like a couple weeks ago as well.
You did, and someone else that I work with, he was like, oh, because we were talking about the Kendrick album, and then he was like, oh, I've been listening to this guy, Quelle Chris, too. I'm like, oh, okay.
Quelle Chris, he has a lot of great albums, like Everything's Fine, or Being You Is Great, I Wish I Could Be You More Often, or even Guns, Into the Country, too. He has a lot of albums, Gio, for you to choose from. All of them are great. You know, feel free one of these Saturdays while you're in the rooftop, just tune into one of his music. It sounds great in the heat. And of course, you know, I can't forget about this album. I thought was a surprise drop, and I did feel like my childhood in high school. Full Court Press, Girl Talk, Wiz Khalifa, Big Crit, Smoked is just a perfect album. I told it to one of my friends, and they're listening to it continuously after I recommend it. It's like, yo, you're gonna like this. This is gonna remind you of our high school experience, and yeah, that's what it was. So Wiz Khalifa can still do it. I always tell people, like, I was a huge Wiz Khalifa fan in high school. If he wants to, he can make music for for like me, you know, like for that certain fan base of the past. But he makes more money with the fan base of today, so I don't blame him.
And he's busy fighting.
And he's busy, you know, living his best life. Is Wiz Khalifa, always the most talented man. So,
definitely. I have that album from Buddy with Super Ghetto. Love the album, except for 2 tracks on it. But I love the West Coast sound, of course. I love the funk influence. I love the G-funk influence. I know that Buddy, he has a good singing voice because he used to be in the church. I love his singing voice. I love the collaborations with Ari Lennox, with T-Pain, Happy Hour, one of my favorite songs of the year, Bashtin'. I know you listen to it. I know you love it. You know, T-Pain freaking killed it. Of course, he had Black 2, which was basically the sequel to Black off of his first album. and that was in Black 2 was in response of the events that happened in 2020. So I was happy to see that he put it on this album. So of course it's very pro West Coast, pro Black, pro R&B, just pure LA culture, and I enjoy that because now I have a friend who's slowly converting over. It's taking a while though, but he'll appreciate the album better when he's wearing some Chucks.
What else you got? Let's finish up your list.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just gonna run through them really quick so we can talk about sports. Benny the Butcher, Tana Talk 4. I think Benny's best project to date.
You should try to see him perform live.
Oh, no, it already passed.
It already passed. Oh,
yeah, that passed. And remember, this was another Black Seinfeld episode, and I would have missed 2 weeks in a row, so I'm not doing that. And then, of course, his buddy Conway the Machine. God don't make mistakes. Of course, Conway the Machine, one of my favorite rappers, my favorite member out of Griselda. Sid, Broken Heart Club. Of course, I already told you once before. If you want that that sultry silk sheet, butt naked on the bed, listen to some Sid. She'll take your girl. Orange County. Who cares? This is a happy ass album that I listen to on my way to work on sunny days. I enjoy this album a lot. And is that it? I think. Oh, and of course, Mabu Kaylani, Blue Water Road. That's it. And Kendrick Lamar, but that's pretty, like, I don't have to say that. You know that.
Yeah, that's very recent. I actually reorganized the album in order to make it a little bit more listenable. Of course, I took out a couple tracks that are kind of meant for like 5 listens, and that's it.
Oh, let me guess. You took out We Cry Together, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. I think like 3 tracks too. I think I took out like 4 tracks in total. Just to make my version a little bit smoother. Okay. So I'm still working on it.
Okay, that's fine.
So Gio, we're about to wrap up from the show.
Yes.
We do want to dive into sports.
Yes.
Real quick. I'm a big basketball fan. Gio's a big NHL fan. We are still in the playoffs. The other day was the end. I think it was like Sunday. Sunday was the last day of the
Eastern Conference
Finals.
I saw that
between Miami and Boston.
Yes.
It was kind of like almost a blowout game in terms of Boston was leading the entire time.
The whole time.
I always tell people, it's like Butler playing his ass off in game 6 had 40 points. I was like, no way he'll be able to do that same performance again back to back.
47, I think.
Yeah, 47 points.
Yeah.
47 points. I have to say over 40 points.
Yep.
And it's like, no way he'd give us over 40 points again, but he gave us 36. And it's just his team couldn't fill in the blanks when he needed the most. Just a couple threes. If they hit like maybe 5 or 6 more 3-pointers, I think they would have won the game. It was actually brought down to the last minute because they did catch up.
They did.
And Butler shot the 3, he missed it, and that was kind of where the game ended. But in my opinion, Boston did deserve it. I am a huge Miami fan, but I'm a Knicks fan, number one. So saying that Boston going to the finals does sound iffy to me since we are in the same division, and it was the R.J. Barrett shot that was the climax or like the shift. If you were to make a movie of the Boston series, the R.J. Barrett shot was the part that made them change as a team. So it sucks. I hate that. And people think like, oh, that was great because R.J. Barrett like shifted Boston. It's like, no, we still are losers. Shout out to the Knicks. Anyways, the finals is going to be between Golden State Warriors, where you have the legendary, and it's kind of funny because they're much older now.
Yes.
In terms of like, Stephen Curry, Draymond Green, and Klay Thompson. They are now the OGs. Yeah. And they also brought a staff of new young guys who have the same energy, the same fight, and similar skill set that they could fill in the blanks. And that's what brought them all the way into the season. And it's really fun. They're still a great team to watch.
Absolutely.
And now you have the new school Boston with Jason Tatum, Brown, and also Marcus Smart, also Al Horford, and Robert Williams. They're just a well-crafted team that was slowly built, and it's a kind of the fruits of your labor type concept.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike Gio's favorite team, the Lakers and the Nets, they're just a bunch of superstars throwing at each other, saying, "Hey, play well together." But what happened to the Lakers? They didn't make it to the playoffs. Sad boy, And what happened to the Nets? They got swept. Oh man, struggling out here to be a fan of both of those franchises. Couldn't be me, but my franchise didn't make it anywhere, so it's fine. But we don't have any superstars like that. Anyways, you got like what, 6 superstars under your belt? Anyways, it's going to be a fabulous finals. They're going to start Thursday at 9:00, and I just can't wait to see who's going to win. And if you were to ask me who I want to win, I don't care. If Boston wins, it's the start of a new era. If Golden State wins, they still got the juice.
That's right.
They still got the juice.
I think arguably the Warriors were the team of last decade, of the 2010s. It's either between LeBron's Miami Heat, LeBron James, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade, and the Warriors. I feel like that those teams definitely they dominated the 2010s. Basically, LeBron James and Steph Curry dominated last decade.
And I think that's fine. I do think it's just the evolution of where the NBA is right now. And just to quote, the juice line, just to quote Bramilton, Pusha T, he said, "We were both hurt to see how Q dropped Bish. He said we knew the ledge better. We the new plot twist." So that could be, you could go both ways. It could be Boston being the new plot twist, or, Bish would have made it.
I mean, we'll see. Maybe experience trumps all, but it's funny that we have this nice experienced team over out west, because going to the NHL really quick. I feel like our team, my team, the New York Rangers, have been doubted constantly throughout their playoff run. Because they've gone up against very well established teams that are known to like just make the playoffs time and time again. Starting off with the Pittsburgh Penguins, of course, led by Sidney Crosby, who is known. They're known to like always watch out for the Penguins when it comes to the NHL playoffs, because once they are rolling, they are rolling. And here you have this young, hungry, inexperienced, but also they're very eager to just play aggressive in the New York Rangers. And all these freaking NHL analysts and all that, bar stools and all that, go suck panyamada, because everyone kept saying, you know what? Guess what? Experience is going to trump all. The Penguins got this. And guess what? You know what happened, Bashtin? The Rangers were down 3-1 in the series. Similar to basketball, right? Where they have to win in the best of 7. They have to win 4 games. And the Rangers were down 3-1. And guess what? They came back and they won 3 straight games to get the Penguins up out of here. And then the next game went along, right? And this was the quarterfinals. And here we had the New York Rangers against the Carolina Hurricanes, a badass team. But however, they did have some problems with players. Some players were injured. Their top goalie wasn't around, and so similar to the first round, the Rangers were down 2-0, Bashtin. But guess what they were able to do? They were able to come back, and let's not forget about that Game 7 earlier on this week, because there's a lot of people in New York that, they don't really care for hockey like that. But once the Rangers are going, okay, they're going to start paying attention. And at the end of that damn Game 7, where they made it apparent, they made it a statement that, yes, we are here. And we're now finally in the Eastern Conference Finals. They haven't been back to the Eastern Conference Finals since 2015, Bashtin. Something special is happening. And guess what? Game 1 happened tonight, Bashtin, in Madison Square Garden against the 2-time defending NHL Stanley Cup champions. Back-to-back champions, Bashtin. They're trying to go for their 3-peat this year, right? And the Tampa Bay Lightning, they got a squad, dog. They have one of the top goaltenders in the NHL, if not the top goaltenders right now, in Andrei Silveski, right? He is known. He's like a brick wall, okay? It's very hard to get goals past him. I believe in the past 100 and something games, people have only been able to score on him like 4 times. In this game alone, the New York Rangers scored on him 6 times. That doesn't happen often, okay? Because the Rangers are red hot, all right? Of course, we have our goalie. He's easily in the top 3 in Igor Shesterkin. But of course, we got our killers. We have the unofficial captain, because there's no captains on this team. Unfortunately, they're just alternative captains. And Chris Kreider. We have Mika Zibanejad. We have one of the sharpest defensemen out there right now, Adam Fox, Jacob Trouba. You have one of the best badasses on the team that we can have, Ryan Reeves, who's not afraid to just to F someone up on site. He did it today. He got thrown out the game. He's like the Dennis Rodman, Bashtin. He's not afraid to get up in your face. And
he didn't get into the penalty box for 2 minutes?
They just escorted him out. They were like, nah, you're done for the day. Because they started, it was a serious brawl, Bashtin. And he sandwiched dude onto the ice. It was crazy. Ryan Reeves always gets in the
NBA
fights.
players are thugs, huh?
I mean, hey, I'm not gonna say right. Well, Ryan Reeves, he is a brother, so hey, that's another reason why I like the Rangers.
Oh,
we got
really?
2 black people on the squad.
Oh my god,
we got 2 black people on the squad finally.
I don't know anything about hockey and it shows.
It's okay. Talk about progression, Bashtin. We got 2 black people on the squad now. All right, we got 1 in Ryan Reeves and 2 in the other defenseman and the Keandre Miller. Rock with them both. And so I'm honestly just really happy. I'm really excited for this team. The Tampa Bay Lightning is no walk in the park. There's so many guys like Ryan McDonough, who was a former captain for the New York Rangers. Of course, you got Silveski there, one of the top-notch goalies. Their defense is crazy. Their offense is crazy. I assumed that this match going in, I thought this was going to be a high defense and low scoring series. But shoot, the fact that the Rangers were able to score 6 out the gate, 6-2, I think it's great momentum right now. And going into Friday, it's going to be game 2 again in the Garden. The Rangers have not lost a game in the Garden since game 1 against the Penguins. And that was the triple overtime game where they lost at the end. So they haven't lost any other home games since that game, Bashtin. So they're on a great momentum. They're on a great path. And if they can just keep up that aggression, keep playing the way they're playing, because the Rangers, they just came from a game on Monday, against the Carolina Hurricane. But what the Lightning was able to do to the Florida Panthers, they swept them, Bashtin. They swept them. They 4-0'd them, and they haven't played hockey in 9 days because they swept them last week Monday. So maybe a little bit of hockey rust has gone into effect here, but I'm just really excited to see what happens. I know a lot of people in New York are excited to see what happens too, because I saw a lot of Rangers hats, and that's something you really don't see often. Of course, you see the Knicks hats, you see Yankees and Mets, but you don't really see Rangers. So it was nice to start seeing that, because New York actually cares until they don't. But so that's nice.
Yo, shout out to the Rangers out here. That's the sister team for the New York Knicks. So I always gotta represent.
Don't do that. Why do you gotta be the sister team?
Well, that's what our brother team.
Oh, okay.
That doesn't sound good.
Oh yeah,
that doesn't sound good.
My bad.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's a sister team. That's the way I look at it. But this is Black Seinfeld, show about nothing. It's the end of the show. Halftime. This is the game that we're in right now. This is the playoffs, and it's always very, very fun. It starts for the first 2 weeks of the playoff is there's a game every single game. There's a game every single hour,
yes.
Right? It's 4 games a day. Then it was just a couple times a week. Now we only get it every other day. But this is sports for us. So this is Black Seinfeld. To learn more and find more information on Black Seinfeld, go on blackseinfeld.com. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Black Seinfeld NY. And if you have any requests or questions, please reach out to us on our email, blackseinfeldny@gmail.com. Gio, any last minute things you want to let the people know?
We'll see you again next week. Until then, we're going to go out to some Isley Brothers with The Highways of My Life. Take care, everyone. Have a good one.
Peace.